She says, if any of you are thinking about suing Daystar, you better think again. Okay? Because we just finished taking care of 3 people who just tried to bamboozle Daystar or something like that. And he says, so if you're seriously thinking about doing something like that, you better think again.
We're uncovering the shocking revelations of Lisa Anderson, a former insider at Daystar Television Network, who has courageously stepped forward to share her truth. Lisa, once the personal executive assistant to Joni Lamb, had a front-row seat to the inner workings of what was marketed as a ministry, but often operated as an empire. Her story isn't just a tell, it's a warning, a challenge, and most importantly, a call to accountability for us all. As always, we approach this topic with prayerful hearts and the hope that truth will bring healing. Let us begin. Daystar Television Network was born from a vision, a mission to spread the gospel to the corners of the earth. Marcus and Joni Lamb, the faces of this ministry, quickly became household names in Christian broadcasting. They preached faith, family, and integrity. But as we'll learn, the reality behind the scenes told a different story. Lisa Anderson joined Daystar in 2007, eager to serve God through her work. Little did she know, she was stepping into a world where faith was overshadowed by control, manipulation, and the relentless pursuit of power. From day one, Lisa witnessed a culture that placed the Lamb family's image above all else. Let's delve into her journey and the shocking truth she uncovered. Imagine this, it's Thanksgiving Day. You're with your family, giving thanks to God for His blessings. Then your phone buzzes, it's your boss. Not just any boss, but a woman who demands unwavering loyalty. Lisa Anderson received such a call from Joni Lamb. What did Joni want? A coconut cream pie. Yes, you heard that right. Lisa was told to leave her family gathering, pick up the pie, and deliver it to the Lamb's home. Why? Because this wasn't about the pie, it was about control. Lisa wasn't just an employee. She was expected to be on call, catering to Joni's every whim. From warming up cars to running personal errands, Lisa was treated less like a valued staff member and more like a servant. This wasn't ministry. This was a monarchy.
Does this mean you basically were on call 24/7?
Yes, ma'am. I had a BlackBerry back when BlackBerries were around.
And she could call you at any point and you'd have to come.
There was one example, I'll never forget it. It was a Thanksgiving Day.
Oh my.
No joke. Thanksgiving Day. And I am having Thanksgiving at my parents' house, which they only lived around the corner from me. We were having Thanksgiving dinner, and it was her calling me on the phone on my BlackBerry. Lisa Lou, would you go over to Madeline's, which was over there in Arlington, pick up a coconut cake and bring it to the house and leave it on the counter? Sure enough, I did. Sure enough, I put it on the counter.
You left your family on Thanksgiving Day.
I certainly did. I says, I have to make a run. I will be back. Continue on. And I left the house, got in my car, went to La Madeline, picked it up, took it to her house, left it on the counter. They were in the other room having their dinner. Cake was on the counter, left the place, closed the door, and went back to my family. Yes, I did.
Wow.
That was a true fact.
In 2010, Marcus Lamb confessed to an improper relationships, a 7-year affair with a senior employee. This wasn't a slip of judgment. It was a betrayal that spanned nearly a decade. Lisa Anderson, who witnessed the fallout, described a chilling moment when Marcus gathered staff to deliver a message. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't a call for healing. It was a threat. He warned the staff against suing Daystar, boasting about the legal action taken against former employees. Imagine working in a place where forgiveness is preached, but fear is the foundation. And yet, what broke Lisa's heart the most was the response of Joni Lamb and her family. Instead of addressing Marcus's betrayal, they focused on protecting their brand. Joni's mother, Sandra, even advised her daughter to stick with that man, prioritizing the empire over integrity. Daystar operates on donor funds, money from believers who trust the ministry to use their contributions for God's work. Yet Lisa revealed that this money often funded personal luxuries. From high-end cars to extravagant vacations, the Lambs spared no expense. Staff members were even tasked with maintaining the Lambs' vehicles, ensuring they were washed, waxed, and ready to go. All this while donors sacrificed their hard-earned money, believing it was for the advancement of the gospel.
Again, you're using donor funds. This is a donor-funded ministry, right? You're using donor funds, and you're using something that's given for the advancement of the gospel, and you're using it for your own vacation, for Rachel's vacation or for the family vacation. And so that becomes an issue.
The Lamb family's reaction to Marcus's affair, the allegations involving their children, and the ongoing power struggles within Daystar paint a picture of a ministry lost in its pursuit of control. But Lisa's courage serves as a beacon of hope, showing us the importance of speaking out, even when it's difficult. Lisa wasn't alone in her struggles. Many staff members at Daystar shared similar experiences, overworked, undervalued, and pressured into silence. Lisa described an environment where speaking out was met with hostility, where questioning decisions was seen as disloyalty, and where personal sacrifice was expected without acknowledgement. One of the most poignant examples Lisa shared involved the staff's role during Marcus's affair scandal. While the Lamb family publicly portrayed unity and forgiveness, behind closed doors, employees were burdened with managing the fallout. They were instructed to maintain an image of perfection, no matter how deeply the truth might cut. Some staff members privately questioned the ethics of how donor money was being spent, but fear of retaliation kept them silent. As Lisa revealed, Marcus and Joni were clear. Anyone who challenged their authority risked losing not just their job, but their reputation and livelihood. Joni Lamb was more than just a co-host. She was the matriarch of the Daystar empire. But according to Lisa, Joni's leadership style was less about servant-hearted ministry and more about commanding absolute loyalty. Lisa recounted moments where Joni's demands crossed professional boundaries. From personal errands to orchestrating public appearances, Joni's expectations often blurred the line between ministry work and servitude. One particularly troubling pattern was Joni's insistence on maintaining the family's image at all costs. When Marcus's affair came to light, Joni leaned heavily on her mother's advice to stick with that man, prioritizing their public brand over personal healing. This choice not only impacted their marriage, but also set a tone for how the ministry would handle future scandals by sweeping them under the rug.
You stick with that man.
This is what Sandra said.
Don't leave him. You stick with him. Now, there were other things said, but the gist of it, I don't care what you do. Don't leave that man. And she listened to her mom.
Lisa's revelations also shed light on more recent allegations involving Jonathan and Susanna Lamb, the next generation of the family. When accusations surfaced regarding Jonathan's alleged inappropriate conduct, Lisa found herself torn. On one hand, she had worked closely with Jonathan and knew him as a thoughtful, humble individual. On the other, she couldn't ignore the culture of secrecy and complicity that had defined the Lamb family's leadership. This is where the words of Jesus in Luke 17:2 resonate so deeply. It would be better for them to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around their neck than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. As Christians, we have a responsibility to protect the vulnerable and seek justice, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. Lisa's testimony challenges us to ask hard questions. How do we reconcile faith with the failures of those who claim to lead in God's name? And how can we ensure that ministries prioritize accountability over appearances?
He says, if any of you are thinking about suing Daystar, you better think again. Okay? Because we just finished taking care of 3 people who just tried to bamboozle Daystar or something like that. And he says, so if you're seriously thinking about doing something like that, you better think again. And he's making it very, very clear. If you're considering suing Daystar, you better think again, because they have a team that will come after you and basically destroy you. And that's basically what he was trying to say. It was a very short meeting. I don't think it lasted more than 10 minutes. And then everybody was told to go back to their station. But he made it very, very clear. Don't try to sue Daystar.
And when you heard these allegations, what did you think when you first heard them?
Shocked. When those things came out, I couldn't believe more. I believed more what Jonathan was saying than what his mom was saying. I'll put it that way. Now, I got an opportunity to work around Joni day and night and day, after hours, during hours. So in all the years that I've known Jonathan, I would never known him to done anything against the grain, anything that was against God. So for me to hear what Joni says, I think it should have been a little bit more sensitive from the mom to the son, because this is your son. And if you know your son, you would know that he wouldn't be just making this stuff up to gain anything. He was humble. Jonathan is a humble young man. And I knew him before he became a man, if you will, okay, because he was a young boy going to school. Okay, they were always pleasant. He didn't have a high tone in his voice. He was very soft-spoken. He would think before he spoke. He would do a lot of reading. And these are the things I saw him without even having a conversation. So for me to hear that, I couldn't believe it. I just flat out say I couldn't believe it. I would question, just me personally, I would question more of how Joni went about stuff. That's what I would question more than what Jonathan would do.
For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light. This verse reminds us that truth always finds a way to surface. Lisa Anderson's story isn't just about exposing wrongdoing. It's about breaking a generational cycle of silence. Daystar Television Network was once a symbol of hope for millions of believers. But as Lisa's story reveals, the pursuit of power and wealth has left the ministry's legacy in question. From financial mismanagement to familial scandals, the Lamb family's actions have cast a shadow over the network's mission. And yet, there's still hope. Lisa's courage to speak out is a reminder that truth has the power to heal. By bringing these issues to light, she's not only challenging the Lamb family, but also calling us as believers to reflect on our own role in supporting ministries. Are we holding them accountable? Are we asking questions about how our donations are being used? And most importantly, are we prioritizing the gospel over the image of those who claim to represent it? My brothers and sisters, Lisa Anderson's story is a powerful reminder of the responsibility we have as believers. We must hold our leaders accountable, ensuring that ministries reflect the love, humility, and integrity of Christ. Let us pray for healing, for truth to prevail, and for those still silenced to find their voice. If this story resonated with you, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to join our mission of uncovering truth in the name of faith. Until next time, may God bless you and keep you. Amen.